Before we begin, I'd like to draw your attention to the statements currently on the screen. This month we are going to investigate further how Tekla software can extend BIM value beyond design to the needs of virtual construction, and today's focus is Tekla BIM Sight. Tekla BIM Sight is a professional construction project review tool, and we may preview some product features and functionalities today that are new to you if your organization has not yet adopted Tekla BIM Sight. So let's get on. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host Philip, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to my colleagues Heikki and Carolina, who will in turn today deliver the presentation. Tekla BIM Sight is part of Tekla's offer for construction projects. It enables, our suite of products enables better forecasting of project outcomes and the delivery of more construction certainty. From the registration info we have from you today, we can note that there's a high percentage of senior professionals from both engineering and construction, and architects are represented too, so hopefully today's presentation will be relevant to all. We aim to show you how your peers are benefiting from free professional design construction tool, coordination tool rather. We want to share with you how Tekla BIM Sight continues to develop and get new exciting features, and the help materials such as our design coordination guide. Today is less about product demonstration and looking more into process.
Thank you, Philip, and welcome. So, to put very briefly, Tekla BIM Sight is a professional tool for design and construction coordination. It enables project members to identify and solve issues already in the design phase before the actual construction. And since 2011, over 100,000 people in the construction industry have taken Tekla BIM Sight in use in more than 150 countries. And here are the three core elements of Tekla BIM Sight. First, we have combine and review models, as Tekla BIM Sight provides one platform for all project members. You can bring in models from any BIM software and combine them to a single project. The second element is identifying conflicts. With Tekla BIM Sight, you can avoid conflicts on site by running automated class detection between all project parties' models already in the design phase. And for third and the last, there is communicate and share. The software gives you tools to share the conflict info to people responsible for them, so that the issues can be fixed before construction. And you can also communicate on the move. And through these three elements, combining, checking, and collaborating, this is the value to be gained. Firstly, every party of the project will be engaged in the BIM data. Tekla BIM Sight offers a light and easy to use way for true collaboration. And secondly, the project efficiency is improved with process management tools and mobility. In this slide, we can see an example of the project coordination, of how spatial design coordination is carried out using BIM models from all the team members. May one be an architect, steel detailer, or MEP engineer, everyone provides their own models for the contractor to combine. After this, every member of the team is able to see the whole project. And the owner is also provided with a way of following the project development. And one of our success stories is a fine real-life example of the combine and review process. Located in Stockholm, Sweden, Mall of Scandinavia, with its 250 retail spaces, will be the biggest mall in the whole of Scandinavia when it's completed in 2015. The general contractor, BEAB, has 7 to 8 parties involved in this project. and overall they have around 150 models to work with. And as the project is so large, the models have been created with various software solutions. This makes OpenBIM and choosing the file format very important. In this project, they have selected IFC as a medium to integrate the models and to move the information from one software to another. And here's how the BIM coordinator, Mikael Castell, describes their combine and reuse process. I collect the valuable information to a server, and we in PEAP utilize it for status planning, and following that the work on site keeps up with the planned timetable and the right things get done. And now we're going to start with our first poll. Back to you, Philip.
Thank you, Carolina. That was Carolina talking, not Heikki, as GoToWebinar was telling us. So yes, we do have a poll with regard to coordination. Perhaps you could tell us if you're responsible for clash checking and design conflict resolution in your organization. Obviously the next section we're moving on to is going to cover this topic, so it's always handy to have a view of the interest of the audience and be able to respond to that. So I think we're probably about there. We can close that poll and share the results. I'm pleased to say, as expected, we have a high interest in this area in the audience, and at this point I will actually introduce Heikki, who for the first time, who will now talk to you about this topic. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip, and hello to all on my behalf as well. So the next step after combining the models in Tekla BIM Sight is then to check classes visually, or then use the config checking tool to find the hard classes. And the benefit for this, for the checking for the construction project, is that with Tekla BIM Sight the conflicts can be found already in the design phase before starting the actual construction. So as a result, the number of errors being found on site is reduced. And since there are less surprises on site, it means lower rework costs and less delays. And since Tekla BIM Sight is available for everyone for free, everybody can check their own work. So there is no need to guess, for example, which class in pipe and beam we are talking about. As you can see on your own screen, the classing area and also the conflicting objects. And maybe the biggest benefit here is that with Tekla BIM Sight you can actually get class checking for free. Okay, so how does the config checking work then in Tekla BIM Sight in practice? So as I mentioned, you can do some visual checking or then use the config checking tool to find the hard classes. And also when you are creating the config tool, you can actually specify any tolerances or clearances if needed. So with this minimum distance, you can actually use Tekla BIM Sight also for checking clearances. So it's not only about checking classes. In the slide we have run a config check. So we have run the structural framing. We have checked the structural framing against this piping system. And as you can see, we get this yellow flag here to the 3D view indicating that some classes have been found. And then we can analyze these classes more closely, and we see that this beam is classing with this piping element. And then you can also change the status or priority of the config flags, and these classes can then be communicated back to the disciplines creating the models if any changes are needed. So I will tell you more about later on how the collaboration flow, so how to communicate these issues with other project members. But first I will tell you about our Kohonen success story. Okay, so this project, it's a factory extension project here in Helsinki, Finland. And first some background for the project. So the owner-operator of this factory extension wanted to improve the design and construction quality by moving from 2D to BIM. because they had suffered some problems with classes and conflicts on a previous project with 2D drawings. And so the owner required 3D modeling for the extension and demanded class checking in the design phase to avoid classes on site. And Arko Honen, which was the general contractor in this project, decided to use Tekla BIM Sight in the project. And so the architectural model for the old part of the factory, it was already available, but for the extension, everything was modeled from scratch. And as you can see on this image, there were a lot of plant process and also MEP components in a small space. So in this kind of a complex project, the classes couldn't have been avoided without using BIM. Okay, so during the project, the parties used Tekla BIM Sight config checking functions a lot in the meetings, which were held to check classes and discuss about design changes. So each model was cross-checked with every other 4 classes. And this is what Samu Ristalainen, the BIM coordinator of the project, commented about Tekla BIM Sight after the project. So Tekla BIM Sight is easy to use and learn. Even designers without experience of 3D modeling learned it quickly. Still, there was enough features to go through the design coordination process, and the owner was also very pleased. Okay, so the general contractor was very satisfied with Tekla BIM Sight since they were able to deliver error-free design. And then, as a result, the owner was also pleased, and the project was then carried out successfully. Okay, and now I'm going to hand back to Philip, and we are going to have our next poll about collaboration.
Thank you, Heikki. Yes, we just want to get your views again. Is project team collaboration and communication of design intent essential to construction project success? I'd be very surprised with regard to the outcome of this if you don't all agree with us that it's fairly essential, but please do vote away, and we can share the results back with you. It is an almost resounding agreement, and on that basis hopefully you'll find the next section on the collaboration and coordination elements with Heikki particularly useful.
Okay, thank you, Philip. So, so great to hear that more or less all of you are that interested about the collaboration. So, so after combining the models and checking classes in Tekla BIM Sight, so the next step is then to communicate these issues with other project members. So, what happens next when some conflicts are found? So, as you can see here, a BIM coordinator, he has run a conflict check against this concrete slab and then these ducts, and as you can see, this slab is clashing with these ducts. And what the BIM coordinator has done next is that he has created a note about this issue and also linked these 5 objects to the note. And the next step is then to communicate this issue to the lead designer. And so the BIM coordinator can either send this note via email to the lead designer, or then save the note to the file, for example, some shared network folder, or use some, for example, a shared Dropbox folder. And then, as you can see, lead designer here, she has iPad or iPhone, so we have a Tekla BIM Sight Note app, which is a small app for opening notes and replying to them. So lead designer then can open the note, and then after analyzing the issue, she decides that box out is then required here. And so he can forward this issue to the structural engineer. And then structural engineer in turn, so he has the concrete model there in Tekla Structures. And we have also a comment tool, which is extension and available in Tekla Extranet. So with this comment tool extension, the structural engineer can open this node. And actually we have just released a new version about this comment tool. So if you haven't already tested it, go to our extranet and you can get it there. So with the comment tool, the structural engineer can highlight the objects that BIM coordinator linked to the node. So he knows exactly which concrete slab and which duct we are talking about. And then he can, after making the changes to the concrete model, creating to the box out there, so he can send a note to the BIM coordinator that say that, okay, I have solved this issue now. And then he can also save the model to the default folder. And this default folder is actually a new feature that we introduced in TeklaBIMSight 1.6. And I will tell you more about that later on. But if this default folder is, for example, a shared Dropbox, Google Drive folder, or some network drive where the lead designer and BIM coordinator here has access to, they get the notification right away to the TeklaBIMSight that there is a new version of model available. And then what BIM coordinator does is that he can update the model, and as you can see here the issue is solved. The box out is added down to the concrete slab. So the main collaboration benefits for this are that everyone in the project has access to the same information and also tools to use the data. So TeklaBIMSight and also TeklaBIMSight Node are free products, so everyone can get them for free. And this communication is also traceable, so these nodes, they are stored to the TeklaBIMSight project package. And if later on someone wants to know that when was this, for example, this box out made there and who made the decision about it, they can check it by opening the nodes. So the communication is fast and easy, and the information is of high quality. And everyone is also working with the same elements. So as I told here, you can link some objects to this node. So the structural engineer then in turn know exactly which concrete slabs and ducts we were talking about, and which was the place that need to be updated or fixed. Okay, so next I will tell you how TeklaBIMSight has been used for collaboration in the State Route 99 tunnel project in Seattle, Washington, US. Which was designed by infrastructure firm HNTB. So first few words about the project itself. So this SR99 construction project, it was started in autumn 2011. And this project is basically a poured road tunnel which inside diameter is 52 foot, so about 60 meters. So it's a massive tunnel going beneath the downtown Seattle, as you can see on this image. And in the project, HNTB used TeklaBIMSight to find design and coordination issues between disciplines, and the reason why they selected TeklaBIMSight as a visual collaboration tool for this project was that they thought that the TeklaBIMSight was the easiest tool available. So how was then TeklaBIMSight used in this tunnel project? Okay, so well, first they loaded all models from different disciplines into the TeklaBIMSight project. And as you can imagine, in this kind of a huge project, there were many parties involved, so they combined civil, structural, architectural models, mechanical and electrical systems, and also traffic management in TeklaBIMSight. And then they used this TeklaBIMSight project in the weekly coordination meetings between all disciplines, where they reviewed conflicts and possible design changes by using TeklaBIMSight. Okay, and then we asked from HNTB about their feelings in TeklaBIMSight, and this is also a direct quote what they said, that this product is incredibly easy to use with its intuitive navigate tools and the ability to create models relevant to the project. So HNTB was very pleased for the easiness of TeklaBIMSight, and they also appreciated the ability to quickly cut sections and turn off pieces of the model to clearly see how the designs from different disciplines were fitting together. So as we have told here, our users have been very pleased for Tekla BIM Sight and found it also really useful design coordination tool, also in really huge construction projects such as the Mall of Scandinavia project and also this State Route 99 tunnel project. And if you want to know more about these success stories, you can go to our website TeklaBIMSight.com and can find more information there. And if you have an idea about some good success story of your own, so we are more than pleased to get more of them. So you can either contact us to the by email, which is shown after this in the last slide of this webinar, or then use the communications@TeklaBIMSight.com email address. Okay, and then few words about the Tekla BIM Sight mobile. So how to get BIM collaboration to field using Tekla BIM Sight products. So the full version of Tekla BIM Sight can be also used with Windows 7 tablets, and whenever there are any clashes or some other issues found during construction, the site crew can then use tablet for interpreting these issues. And also if there is an internet connection available, they can communicate with Office by sharing notes. And then we have also Tekla BIM Sight Note, which I already mentioned, and so it's a small app for simple and fast communication between Office and site. So Tekla BIM Sight Note is built on the iOS operating system, so it's available in the App Store free of charge. So if you have an iPad or iPhone and haven't already tested Tekla BIM Sight Note, please go to the App Store and you can download it there for free to try it out. Okay, and then in the end I will tell you about Tekla BIM Sight 1.6, the new feature that we have there, and then Karolina will give you some forecasts about 1.7, which will be released soon, and will also tell you about the design coordination guide that we have created. So first about Tekla BIM Sight 1.6. So it was released about a month ago, and the main new feature in Tekla BIM Sight 1.6 is the improved model relinking or semi-automatic model update. So in previous Tekla BIM Sight versions, if you had revised versions of models, you had to relink the updated models manually one by one to Tekla BIM Sight project using this relink button. And as you can imagine, if you have a huge project, you may have dozens or even hundreds of models, and if you have to update them all at once, it's a very tedious task to do it. So, but now with Tekla BIM Sight 1.6, the models can be updated semi-automatically, and basically it means that you can update all new models with one click. So briefly how this feature works is that after creating the project, you need first to set the default folder to your project. And this can be, for example, a network drive or a shared Dropbox folder where your project models files are stored. And then once you put the new models or revised versions of old models into the default folder, Tekla BIM Sight will notify you that there are new or updated models available with these icons. So this icon here highlighted with the green is a load new models button. So by clicking this icon you can load all new models existing in the default folder. And then this these icons highlighted with red are refreshing icons. So by using this you can update the revised versions of models one by one, or then all at once. Okay, so this great new feature is available in Tekla BIM Sight 1.6. So if you haven't already tested it, please go to TeklaBIMSight.com and you can download the latest version there for free. And now I'm going to hand over Karolina, and she will tell us about Tekla BIM Sight 1.7.
Yeah, thank you, Heikki. So here's something new we're offering with Tekla BIM Sight 1.7, which will be released soon. The 1.7 version is now integrated with smartboards, and with this integration, the design and collaboration team meetings definitely get more visual and communicating becomes easier. TeklaBIMSight 1.7 supports this special smartboard features such as pens and eraser, meaning that you can now use colored pens to draw multicolor drawings onto the model, as you can see in this image. And TeklaBIMSight does not require any extra plugins to connect with smartboard. So if you have the version 1.7 installed on your computer, you're ready to go. If you want to test smartboards out, Jussi and Emma from Tekla BIMSight team are at Tekla's booth at the DBIA, short for Design Build Conference and Expo in New Orleans, which started today. And yeah, that's all for the 1.7. And then just shortly about the design coordination guide. It basically gives recommendations on how to perform spatial design coordination process using Tekla BIMSight. The guide is available on our website at teklabimsight.com, and it explains in a more detailed way the design coordination process workflow that we've presented today. So how to set up a project, combine your models, check for clashes, and then communicate the results to the project team. And as you can see, the steps from 4 to 8 form a circle, so that goes on and on until the issue is solved. Then to sum up the whole story, with Tekla BIMSight, you can combine your models, check for clashes, and communicate them. And finding errors is really important because it lowers your rework costs and reduces delays. And because Tekla BIMSight and also Tekla BIMSight Note are free products, all project participants can start using them right now and have access to the same information, meaning that all in all, Tekla BIMSight smoothens the communication and the design coordination process. And I think that's all from Heikki and me. Now back to you, Philip.
Thank you very much.